Conor, how you doing? Are you all right?
Hello.
Good man yourself. Conor Villager is here, Conor O'Brien. Sex, drugs and rock and roll. What a long, strange trip it's been. How's the road? Oh, you haven't been on the road. You've been in the studio, Conor. For God's sake, where's the album?
I don't know. I've been asking myself the same question recently. We've done it. Yeah, it's done. Except for a few tweaks. I woke up this morning and I emailed the mastering engineer and told him...
It sounds like a blues song. You woke up this morning and what?
Emailed the mastering engineer.
Okay, Conor,
so we're changing stuff.
I get the... Okay, Conor, is there a producer on the album?
Well, I produced it and Tommy, who plays in the band, kind of co-produced it as well. So it was basically just... Again, like the last album, it was the two of us up in Donegal in his studio. But this time...
And now it's mixing in London or something,
Well, this time the band came up, so I didn't play everything this time. The band played everything, and it was much more... the weight was a lot more off my shoulders, and it felt like we could try more ideas and go lots more places, and it was... Yeah.
Okay, but by the same token, the reason I ask about a producer is there's nobody telling you, Conor, that's good enough. Can we move on to the next song?
No, that's probably why it's taken so long.
Like when you say tweaks, are you going to get this thing mixed in London or something, but you're still going to bring over a keyboard and stick it in and hope to...
No, we mixed it ourselves. We finished our 2 months in Donegal, and then we started another whatever ridiculous amount of time mixing it as well, just me and Tommy. So we did everything ourselves. We just mastered it in London. So yeah, it's just been our own little trip.
All right, the debut Jackal album, so loved, so praised, so rewarded and everything else. There's no, second album, oh my God, I better get this together stuff.
No, not really, because...
Pressure?
Well, I mean, sometimes there was, but I think when... because the way I write stuff is very... I have to shut myself away from everything and just gather all the things that I've been writing on tour or whatever, and then just make something that I feel like I'll be proud of at the end. And if that takes, 2 weeks or if it takes 2 years, it kind of doesn't matter. The whole process takes over and I'm not the one controlling it, really. So.
Okay, yeah. All right. 2013, I presume. Is that the release date sometime?
I think it could be the end of the year or it could be the beginning. It's all done, so I've done all the artwork. Do I look tired? I don't know. I feel like I'm at a festival now going, oh shit, we have to play it today. Oh my God.
By the way, you do have to play it later on. You're going to be playing it about what, 8:45?
Yes.
In what stage?
The Electric Arena.
In the Electric Arena. Okay, so it's you, full band, all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
And how many tracks do you think we'll hear that we haven't heard before?
I think we're going to do most of the set new stuff, which will be interesting. But I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's very groovy, the new stuff. There's a lot more of a drive to it. Because we were listening to lots of Curtis Mayfield and the Meters and lots of New Orleans, Alan Toussaint.
All right. And by the way, the Roots are on around the same time as you around the same stage. So that's kind of...
Questlove.
That's something you could kind of... I mean, are you talking about it's more rhythmic or something? Is that what you mean? It's more loose, it can go anywhere live?
There's more colours to it and there's more of a drive and it's less... I became very sort of... I don't know, when you write an album and it's very emotional and people start coming to your shows and it's really exciting at the start, but the more you do it, the more you feel like you're conning them because you can't honestly feel that, barren sense of emotion every night. So I wanted to write something which almost took me, into the show rather than me trying to drag them into it and try and tell everyone this is where you have to feel sad and this is where you have to feel whatever this way. I had to really write something which was more propulsive and more kind of... I just wanted to dance, really.
And what about playing to an audience that isn't necessarily yours? The last time I saw you was at the O2 and you were guests to Elbow. Tell me about that. I mean, what is it okay? Is it a question of trying to win over or just hope for the best? Because you went down very well. Yeah,
well, the Elbow tour was great because, people, everybody seems to love Elbow. The demographic of those shows was ridiculous. I'd never played to such a wide range of people.
Strange age group, all right.
So it was really kind of cool. It was very open-minded, it felt, the audience on that tour. So that was really great. And we're going to go off on tour with Grizzly Bear.
Yeah, you're going with Grizzly Bear now, so there's no more hanging around. Donegal, studio, whatever.
Yeah.
Leave it behind.
And then that's it. We got to figure out how we're going to do it.
You see, the thing is, kind of these songs can mean so much to you. You can spend a whole year getting your 3 minutes together and whatever. But you do realise once they're out there, they're not yours anymore.
That's semi-true.
But isn't that okay? Isn't it good to hand them over?
Yeah, it is. No, that's a huge weight off my shoulder. Our first single just came on is on the internet now, and the day it went on the internet, I honestly felt there was just this big bags just fell from my shoulders, and I was free.
And what have you been writing lately? Songs, poetry, novelty stuff, stories?
Just song. I mean, I write words and I write music, and then the things that come together become the songs. And I've never had an aspiration to put the words out without the music, because I'm not too sure if it's very good. But there's a big difference between, I think, a poem and words that were written with the rhythm of the music in mind. So I think I'm more into textures and melodies, and the words are almost secondary to that, you know, for me anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, no, I mean, like, I've got a book at home of, like, Bob Dylan's lyrics kind of thing. Doesn't work.
Yeah, I've got that book too. I always go back to it whenever I'm...
I mean, really, like, but then you stick on the needle in the groove and then it works.
Yeah. There's a lot of bad grammar, etc., which wouldn't fly.
I hadn't thought of that being the reason why it doesn't work, but yeah, something along those lines. Okay, just a couple of songs. I have seen the video for Waves, or Their Waves, is it? With the cars and the trees and the birds and the trains, etc. Aidan Volney, it's kind of like, what is that? Is that an imprint of you? What is that that's you singing? Is there a gauze in front of you or something?
That's Alda. We sent him raw footage of me singing the songs, and then he did some sort of crazy computer trickery and made it look completely psychedelic and slightly like it's been put through a computer. And because the whole idea was, he heard the song and he instantly thought of audio waves, and then he turned that into, which is in the song as well,
shapes within audio waves.
Yeah,
it starts off with an audio wave thing.
Yeah. And then it became, he was like, well, maybe I can make it look like it's an animation through a computer.
Exactly.
And then gradually by the end, it's kind of like the world, the globe, just kind of exploding. And it's kind of...
It's probly there on a YouTube near you. I'm sure it is somewhere. Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
What about a Grateful song? That's just one song. I mean, like, you know, is this about, like, getting over some bad vibes and things can be good kind of song?
You said it yourself. Yeah. It's a sort of... it's trying to be religious without actually subscribing to a religion, I guess. It's trying to be like... It's a spiritual, hymnal kind of song of hope. But it's not necessarily about God or anything. It's more about, like, realizing that idea is a construct, and you're just sort of allowed to feel it on your own basic level.
And is there anything on the Jackal album, the last one, or the forthcoming album, that we could look back to the Immediate and say that was born in the Immediate, which is the band you had before? Or is that, like, very much a closed chapter and you don't have any ideas from that anymore?
There's a song... Oh, on the Jackal album?
Well, on either album.
Yeah, well, on both there is. On the Jackal album there's a song called That Day.
Oh, yeah.
Which myself and Dave in the Immediate used to jam out. But it never quite made it. And then there's a song on the new album which is called The Bell, which is probably one of our oldest songs, but I never figured out how to arrange it. So that's going to be on the new one. Yeah, that's from Immediate Times.
Well, generally then over the album, are we talking about an eerie sense of disquiet, as the Guardian once said about you? Is this what we're talking about here in terms of who Villagers are or is?
I don't know. I mean, I get the feeling with the new one that you can't... It's almost like you don't have time to feel that eerie sense of disquiet. You know, it feels almost like it carries you and drags you on a journey. It's quite a sort of psychedelic travelling kind of album. By the end of it, well, at least when I listen to it now, I feel like I'm in a different place than I was when I first started listening to it. Yeah. And
when you say Curtis Mayfield earlier on, are you listening to certain music when you're getting the album together, when you're recording it, or even when you're writing the songs, and that influences you? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I started listening to lots of electronic music as well, and krautrock, and I got very into techno for a while, so that shows itself. Yeah, definitely. You do realise the amount of people who are going to use the word sophomore. Do you know what sophomore is? Yeah. It's the second album, the next one. Yeah. They're going to all say that. So you better get to know the full meaning of the word. Grizzly Bear, how many dates and where? Oh, we're doing... you got me there. I think it's about 10. All pre-Christmas, is it? Mm-hmm. We're going to go in October. Yeah, on tour with them around Europe. And also their UK tour as well. I'm going to try and get them over to Ireland because they haven't made a plan yet to come over. But and what about America for Conor, for Villagers? Next year I think we're going to go over. It's going to get released I think next year. We're going to go to the States and tour.
Yeah.
And when you say it's going to get released, that word release, can I use it in a different context here and say, is it a real release?
What does that mean these days?
No, yeah, like, no, what I mean is, isn't it just great to have the damn album finished?
Oh, I see, okay. Yes,
like, which
that's
process
true.
do you like is what I mean, really. Like, do you like the writing of the songs, or is it burning of the midnight lamp and your brain is falling out? Do you like recording it in the studio and getting it together and realising, this is my vision, this is happening? Or do you like getting out there on stage and rocking out Curtis Mayfield?
I'm stubborn. I always want to be at the other place, so I'm never quite...
Really?
Yeah,
You're never happy?
that's why I'm...
All the way back in the studio when you're sitting in front of 10,000 people, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's very... I'm strange on tour, because all the other guys are usually like, we're on tour! And I'm sort of like, I want to go home and write a song or something.
And is there any song on the new album? What's the title of the new album?
I'm not allowed to say.
You're not allowed to say. I thought I'd slip that in there.
I actually don't fully know yet. I've got at least 3 which I'm still kind of playing with.
And what about songs themselves then? We're coming up to the news actually, 6 now shortly. So what about the songs themselves finally? I mean, anything else I should look at and say, wow, look what Villagers have done there? Anything that's different?
The new
different,
stuff?
Yeah, so different that people would say, is that Villagers?
I sort of feel like the first single that's come out is probably the most that direction. The other stuff is a little bit more band orientated, and there's still kind of electronic stuff in there because I really like that colouring kind of now. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Overall, I feel like it's a really sort of natural continuation. Yeah, it doesn't feel like I tried to do anything too different. It just feels like I'm trying to. I felt like I was pushing myself as much as I could do it. So yeah.
All right, well, touring with Grizzly Bear, an album out possibly before Christmas, but maybe 2013, we don't know yet. We don't have a title. It is the second album from Villagers. Conor O'Brien. Conor, thanks a million for dropping in to talk to us here at the Roadcaster at the Electric Picnic, and good luck on stage in a few hours' time as well.
Cheers.
And don't forget to see the Roots as well, the Well-Worth Scene. They're directly after you, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect, in the same place. Okay, I don't know if we're going to the news or to an ad break, but I'm out of here for at least a minute or two.